हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारे, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारे, यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन, यामुनतीरवनचारी, यामुनतीरवनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे, जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व, जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय, जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव 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 Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. I'm very thankful to all of you dear devotees for kindly coming here this morning for today's Srimad Bhagavatam talk. I'm very grateful, Ananta Prabhu. You kindly invited me, and by your kind arrangements, I was able to travel here. So I'm very thankful to you, as well as to all the wonderful devotees here. And I'm also thankful to my dear God brother Premananda Prabhu, who kindly has been traveling with me. So he's very kind and he's been accompanying me, he's been helping me in so many ways. And thank you once again to each and every one of you. Hare Krishna. This morning, the reading is from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3, verse number 4. The chapter is entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations. But before we begin, there is Shishta Parampara, tradition to perform Mangalacharan. There is the tradition established by the previous acharyas to begin with Mangalacharan, auspicious invocations. So following in that tradition, I will begin with Mangalacharan. Then we'll see the verse, and then I'll try to speak something about it. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupaha Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrind Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. So once again I am very thankful to each and every one of you for kindly having come here this morning. See, there are many things going on in each and every one of our lives, and each and every one of us is facing various difficulties in life. Still, all of you took out time to come here this morning, for which I am very thankful. Dear devotees, we are reading from first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, third chapter, verse number 4. I will sing the verse. The verse is in front of you. Kindly repeat after me. Pashyantyadorupamadabhrachakshusha Sahasrapadorubhujananadbhutam Sahasramurdhashravanakshinasikam Sahasramaulyambarakundalollasa. Synonyms: Pashyanti, see. Adah, the form of the Purusha. Rupam, form. Adabra, perfect. Chakshusha, by the eyes. Sahasrapada, thousands of legs. Uru, thighs. Bhuja anana, hands and faces. Adbhutam, wonderful. Sahasra, thousands of. Murdha, heads. Shravana, ears. Akshi, eyes. Nasikam, noses. Sahasra, thousands. Mauli, garlands. Ambara, dresses. Kundala, earrings. Ullasat, all glowing. So dear devotees, you will notice one term here. Mauli has been translated as garlands. We will try to see if this term is in the translation. Alright, let's read the translation, dear devotees. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The devotees with their perfect eyes see the transcendental form of the Purusha, who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. In that body there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adorned with garlands. So you can see the term garlands here, and you can see the term garlands here as Mauli. Dear devotees, this term Mauli has been translated by the previous acharyas as helmets or crowns, whereas here it has been translated as garlands. So this is the only difference between the previous translations and this translation. The term helmets is also here, and the term garlands is also here. But previous acharyas have translated Mauli as helmets, not as garlands. Let's read the purport. With our present materialized senses, we cannot perceive anything of the transcendental Lord. Our present senses are to be rectified by the process of devotional service, and then the Lord Himself becomes revealed to us. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the transcendental Lord can be perceived only by pure devotional service. So it is confirmed in the Vedas that only devotional service can lead one to the side of the Lord, and that only devotional service can reveal him. In the Brahma Samhita also, it is said that the Lord is always visible to the devotees, whose eyes have been anointed with the tinge of devotional service. So we have to take information of the transcendental form of the Lord from persons who have actually seen him with perfect eyes smeared with devotional service. In the material world also, we do not always see things with our own eyes. We sometimes see through the experience of those who have actually seen or done things. If that is the process for experiencing a mundane object, it is more perfectly applicable in matters transcendental. So only with patience and perseverance can we realize the transcendental subject matter regarding the absolute truth and his different forms. He is formless to the neophytes, but he is in transcendental form to the expert servitor. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langhayate girim, yat kripam tamaham vande, Shri Gurum Deenataranam, Paramananda Madhavam, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam. In this verse, it is being specified, Pashyanti, they see. Who sees? The perfected yogis who have eyes of bhakti. They see Adaha Rupam, this particular form of the Purusha. The Purusha avatars is being described here. Adabhra Chakshusha. Adabhra means with great amount of knowledge. Chakshusha, eyes that have been anointed with devotional knowledge. And what is that form? Sahasrapada, Uru, Bhuja, Bhujananadbhutam. So this form has sahasra, thousands of pada, feet, Uru, thighs, Bhuja, arms, Anana, faces. Sahasra Murdha, thousands of heads, Shravana, ears, Akshi, eyes, Nasikam, noses. Sahasra Mauli, thousands of crowns or thousands of garlands. Ambara, thousands of clothes. Kundala, thousands of earrings. Ullasat, this particular form of the Purusha is glowing, Ullasat, with all of these. Dear devotees, I'd like to ask a very simple question. This particular verse is describing Paramatma, feature of the Supreme Lord. In this world, how many Paramatma features are present? Can anybody tell me? How many Paramatmas are there in this world, in this entire material creation?
How many Paramatmas?
Yeah. See, there is difference of opinion. Prabhu, your good name? Sundar Gopal. Sundar Gopal Prabhu says 1. Ananta Prabhu says 3. So, who is in agreement with 1 and who is in agreement with 3? Who says 1? 2. Wow, we have a different... Na asau rishir yasya matam na bhinnam. He cannot be called a sage if he doesn't have a different opinion. So Mukunda Prabhu has a different opinion. All right, 2. All right. Anybody has a different number? No. Okay. So when Sundar Gopal Prabhu says 1, the intention is that one form is present within each and everyone's heart. That is the intention of the statement. Mukunda Prabhu, your intention you have to explain. How are there 2 forms? What are the 2 forms? One is in the heart and one is in every atom. Okay, wonderful. Ananta Prabhu says 3. So Prabhu, which 3? Okay, the 3 Purush avatars. And this answer is, in fact, the answer given by the previous acharyas. There are three Paramatmas, three super souls in this material creation. One is the super soul of the entire material creation. The function of the super soul is to oversee. So the first Purusha is that Paramatma who oversees the entire material creation. So who is that Paramatma and what is his name? Does anybody know? Karanodaka Shai Vishnu is the first Paramatma of this entire creation because he oversees the entire creation of the universe. The second Paramatma is the one who oversees every universe. And what is the name of that Paramatma? Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. And the third Paramatma is the one who oversees each and every living entity and each and every atom. So that is Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu. In reality, there are three Paramatmas in the entire material creation, and the function of Paramatma is mainly pertaining to the material world. Although the function of Paramatma also exists in the spiritual world, but it is mainly in relationship to the material world. Because the material world has to be created and destroyed again and again. But does the spiritual world have to be created and destroyed again and again? No. So the function of Paramatma, which is to oversee the creation, maintenance and destruction of the universes, is primarily in relationship with which world, dear devotees? Material world. Now, the yogis see with their perfected eyes, and in the purport Srila Prabhupada is quoting one pramana after other, but he is not giving the original Sanskrit. We will find out the original Sanskrit. In the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says it is confirmed that the transcendental Lord can be seen, perceived only by pure devotional service. Does anybody know which verse of the Gita Srila Prabhupada is referring to? Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yascha asmi tatvatah. Bhaktya, only by bhakti. Mam abhijanati, I am to be known, the devotee knows me. Yavan yascha asmi tatvatah. As much and as I am in reality. Okay, wonderful. This one is slightly difficult. So it is confirmed in the Vedas that only devotional service can lead one to him, lead one to the side of the Lord, and that only devotional service can reveal him. So there is, it is spoken in the by the previous acharyas, Bhaktir evainam nayati, Bhaktir evainam darshayati. So Bhaktir eva enam nayati. It is bhakti only which takes one to the proximity of the Supreme Lord. Bhaktir evainam darshayati. It is bhakti only which causes us to see the Supreme Lord. In the Brahma Samhita also it is said that the Lord is always visible to the devotees whose eyes have been anointed with the tinge of devotional service. Does anybody know which verse of the Brahma Samhita this is? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santaha sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. So Srila Prabhupada is quoting pramanas after pramanas in the original English, and they are given by the previous acharyas in the Sanskrit. Dear devotees, now arises a very important question, and this question is a question which is in the minds of many aspirants of Bhakti Yoga, but it is not frequently answered. Why is it that we cannot see Bhagavan with our eyes? How many of us would like to see Bhagavan? Yeah. We would like to see Bhagavan. But it is a fundamental question which keeps bothering us, which keeps pinching us from time to time, that although we are executing so many activities of devotional service, Bhagavan still remains away from our sight. Sometimes devotees say that just look at the deity form of Bhagwan, that form is the same as Bhagwan. How many of us have seen the deity form of Bhagwan? Everybody has seen. But there is a different satisfaction of Sakshat Darshan, seeing Bhagwan in his face-to-face direct form. Why? Because in that form Bhagwan will interact with us. In that form Bhagwan will speak to us. In that form Bhagwan will exchange rasa with us. And therefore, we always want to have a darshan of that form face to face. But it is very difficult to get a darshan of that particular form, because that darshan is available only to somebody who has achieved one stage of bhakti, and that stage is called as prema. Only those who have prema are able to perceive the Lord. Rest are not able to perceive Bhagwan face to face. Prema anjana churita bhakti vilochanena. In that very pramana it is said, those whose eyes are tinged with the salve of prema. So those who have achieved the stage of prema are the ones who are able to see Bhagwan face to face. Dear devotees, in this regard, Sri Jiva Goswami quotes a very important pastime in the Bhagavad Sandarbha. In the 34th Anuched, in the 34th section of Bhagavad Sandarbha, Sri Jiva Goswami says something. Atha pratyagrupa tattvam api aha. Now Bhagavan's form is transcendental. Let's try to understand this particular statement. So now we have seen in the Bhagavatam verse that Bhagavan's form is transcendental. Now let's try to understand from our previous acharyas in great detail how Bhagavan's form is transcendental and why it cannot be seen by our eyes. Because simply to say that we cannot see Bhagavan doesn't appear very satisfactory to the mind. Who can see Bhagavan? Can we see Bhagavan? What is the qualification to see Bhagavan? All these questions have been bothering us for a long time. Therefore, it is important for us to answer this particular query. To answer that query, Sri Jiva Goswami takes us in the 64th chapter of the 10th canto. And this is the verse he quotes. This verse is the basis for answering that question. I will sing the verse. First, I will pull out this verse, 10:64:26, so that we all can see this verse. This verse has been spoken by Maharaj Nriga. Many of you might have heard about him. Those who have not heard about him, I will tell you something about him today. But this verse was spoken by him. I will sing the verse, please repeat after me. Satvam katham mama vibhokshipatha paratma Yogeshvara shruti drishamala hridvibhavya Sakshadadhokshaja uruvyasanandha buddhe Syanmenu drishya iha yasya bhavapavarga This is 64th chapter of the 10th canto, where Krishna himself delivered a personality named Nriga. Now, I will speak something about this personality so that we get a background of this particular pastime, and then we understand why Sri Jiva Goswami is quoting this verse. Sri Jiva Goswami wants us to understand Bhagavan's appearance in great detail. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, during the Dwaraka pastimes, there is an incident where Krishna's sons, I will name some of his sons, Samba, Pradyumna, okay, he was not there, but Samba and Pradyumna, etc., those Gada, Charu, all of them were playing. They were playing outside the boundary of Dwarka, and they were playing with a big ball, and suddenly that ball happened to fall into a deep well. When they looked inside the well, this well was abandoned well. There was no water inside that well. Inside they saw a most amazing creature that they had not seen before. How many of you have seen a monitor lizard or Komodo dragon? Yeah. So inside that well was a creature who looked like a Komodo dragon. For those of you who don't know, it is one of the biggest type of lizards to be found in this world. So inside that well, because in India you don't find Komodo dragons, but there was one outside the border of Dwarka, and inside that well, and because they had never seen such a creature before. Such a creature is not to be found usually in India. India has small lizards, not a big Komodo dragon. But there they found a big Komodo dragon, and they immediately came back and reported to Shri Krishna. Before they came back, they wanted to pull it out because they wanted to keep it as a pet. They had so many pets, but they did not have a Komodo dragon as a pet. So they put their leather belts and they tried to pull out, but that Komodo dragon would not come out. Then they went to Krishna, and Krishna was in his bhavan, in his palace. They came and told him, Samba was the first one who came and told him, Pita, that, oh dear father, we saw a most amazing creature, krikalas, like a lizard, big lizard, in that well. Will you please come and, try to pull it out? We want to keep it as a pet. So Bhagwan already knew who that particular creature was. Bhagwan went along with them. So when Bhagwan went along, he looked inside the well. He saw that particular creature. Bhagwan extended his hand, left hand, and pulled it out. By the time Bhagwan pulled it out, it was no longer a monitor lizard. It turned into a beautiful looking king. So Shri Krishna knew who he was, but Shri Krishna just asked, dear wonderful personality, who are you? So this personality, he was very boastful. He gave a reply to Krishna as follows. Dear Krishna, you might have heard about the names of great charitable kings of the past. Every morning in your assembly, these kings are glorified. Dilip. Jai. Shri Panchatattva ki jai. So some of these names are Dilip or Harish Chandra. And one of those names you might have heard in Nriga. Have you heard that name, Krishna? Yes, yes. I am that Nriga. Acha, you are that Nriga, then what are you doing in this well? Then he boasted even further. I gave so many cows as charity. As many drops of water fall from the sky during the rainy season. So he is clearly boasting about himself in front of Bhagavan. I gave so many cows in charity. As many hair are there on the head. I gave so many cows in charity. As many grains of sand there are on planet Earth. So Krishna knew, now he is clearly boasting. But I made a mistake. One time, I had already donated a cow to one particular Brahmana. Accidentally, that cow came back to my cowshed and I happened to donate it again to somebody else. So this should not be a cause for such a difficult reaction. But Bhagavan wanted to show that charity also should be done sensibly, not senselessly. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said, Datavyam iti yad danam diyate anupakarine Deshe kale cha patre cha tad danam satvikam smritam. Datavyam iti yad danam. I must give for the sake of piety. Diyate anupakarine. I will give even to somebody who cannot pay me back. Deshe kale cha patre cha, to a proper person at a proper place and a proper time. Tad danam. That charity, satvikam, is in the mode of goodness. But Nriga was not concerned about. He just used to give so much charity without being concerned about to whom it is given, whether it is given at proper time or place or not. He just used to give charity. One particular mistake, and after death, Maharaj Nriga saw Yamaraj. Nriga said, this is not what I was expecting. I was expecting something else. So Yamaraj said, you have a lot of pious credit. But there is one mistake you made. Now tell me, do you want to suffer first or enjoy first? So, if this choice is given to all of you, what will you select first? First suffer. Because nobody wants to enjoy with that splinter in the mind that after this there will be suffering. So Yamaraj said, for one life, you have to become Krikalas, monitor lizard. Okay, but after that one life, what will be the result? After that one life, you will see Bhagavan face to face. All right. So he became a monitor lizard in a country where monitor lizards are not to be found. In that well in Dwarka, he became a monitor lizard. And finally, after many years, he was rescued by the personal touch of Bhagavan Shri Krishna's hands. And then he spoke this verse. Satvam katham mama vibho akshipatha paratma. How is it that I am able to see you face to face? Yogeshwara Shruti Drishamala Hrid Vibhavya. Yoga Ishwara, the topmost yogis, are able to see you. And not with their direct eyes. Shruti Drisha, with the eyes of Shastra they are able to see you. With the eyes of the scriptures they are able to see you. And not see you with the eyes Hrid Vibhavya. They are able to feel you in their heart. They are able to see you in their heart, not face to face. I was not supposed to see you face to face. I am surprised that I am able to see you face to face. But Sakshat, you appeared directly in front of me. Adhokshaja, O Lord, who always suppresses the material senses. The meaning of Adhokshaja is Adha Kritam, Akshajam, Jnanam, Yena. He who has suppressed all material knowledge below him is known as Adha Akshaja. You always keep material knowledge below you. So you are not seen by material senses, but dear Lord, I am able to see you directly. Uru Vyasananda Buddhe, although I am blinded by sense enjoyment, still I am able to see you. This is most surprising for me. Syan menu drishya iha. Now that you are seen here by me, iha yasya bhavapa varga, I know that my time to get out of the material world has arrived. Bhava apavargaha, those whose material life has ended, they are able to see you at the end of their material lives. In the final life that they will spend in the material world, they will see you. Now I know this is my final life in this world. So, Nriga is surprised. How am I able to see you? Hare Nriga, it seems you forgot in this lizard body that Yamaraj had presented you with two choices. And the first choice you took was you wanted to suffer first. But after that, the culmination of all your pious activities was that you will be able to see me. Sri Jiva Goswami begins to explain. Darshana karanam tu uktam. What is the cause of seeing Bhagavan? He quotes a verse. I will sing the verse. Please repeat after me. Nitya vyaktopi Bhagavan Ikshyate nija shaktitah Tamrite paramatmanam Kah pashye tamritam prabhum Nitya avyaktopi Bhagavan. Bhagavan is eternally disappeared from our eyes. Yes or no, dear devotees? Yes. But ikshyate, he is seen nija shaktitah, only by his shakti, his feminine potency. Bhagavan cannot be seen unless his feminine potency, his shakti, allows us to see him. Dear devotees, the name of Bhagavan Shakti is Swarup Shakti. Can you please repeat the name? What is the name? Swarup Shakti. The meaning of Swarupa Shakti is Swarupa Eva Shakti. Swarupa, his form, Eva, is nothing but made out of his Shakti, his energy. Dear devotees, in the material world, every material object is made out of Shakti, material energy. For example, this particular mic, can everybody see the form of this mic? Yes or no? Yes. But the form of the mic is made out of Shakti, is made out of energy. Even the scientists will tell you that the atoms and molecules of any object are bound together by Shakti. And because they are bound together, therefore you are able to see the form. As soon as the Shakti disappears, there will be no more bondage between the atoms or molecules, and the form will immediately disappear. Dear devotees, each and every form that we see in the material world is possible because of material Shakti. Similarly, each and every form in the spiritual world is possible because of spiritual Shakti. Dear devotees, Ikshate nija shaktitah. He is seen only by his own Shakti. Which Shakti is his own Shakti? The material energy or the spiritual energy? Both. But which one touches him directly? Spiritual. So that energy which touches him directly, which manifests his eternal form, is his Nija Shakti, his personal energy, also known as Swarup Shakti. The meaning of Swarup Shakti is his Swarup is his Shakti. His form is nothing but made out of his Shakti. Tamrite, without that energy, Paramatmanam kaha pashyet amritam Prabhu. Who can see that Supreme Eternal Lord? So without the mercy of Shakti, it is impossible to see Bhagavan. And this Shakti is his antaranga, his internal potency. Therefore, when we worship Bhagavan, we always worship Bhagavan with his Shakti. Which Shakti do we worship Bhagavan with? Srimati Radharani. Our entire effort is to primarily please Shakti. Because Ikshyate nija shaktitah, Bhagavan is seen by his Shakti. When his Shakti decides that this particular candidate is now suitable for seeing Bhagavan, Shakti will manifest Bhagavan's form in front of the eyes of that particular person. But Sri Jiva Goswami says, doesn't mean that Bhagavan has no independence, only Shakti decides. This is not the case. He says, Tadrisha Shakterapi Ullase Tat Kripaiva Karanam. First comes Tat Kripa. When Bhagavan is merciful, he will indicate to his Shakti. Then his Shakti will manifest Bhagavan's form in front of our eyes. This is the Siddhanta. So first Bhagavan has to tell his Shakti that this particular individual, Maharaj Nrig, has to see today. So then Maharaj Nrig will be able to see. Taduktam Shrutau. It is specified in the Shrutis in the Vedas. Please repeat after me. We are reading from the direct Vedas. Na chakshusha pashyati rupamasya. Katha Upanishad 2.3.9. Na chakshusha pashyati rupamasya. The Vedas have declared very clearly, na chakshusha, through your eyes you cannot see his form. Jiva Goswami is quoting. See, the Vedas don't keep us in any delusion. No? At the end of your life you will see. No. Na chakshusha pashyati. His form is not seen through the eyes. Don't keep any misgivings in your heart. His form is not to be seen with the material eyes. Another praman. Then who sees him? Jiva Goswami answers by quoting another Upanishad, another section of Katha Upanishad. Please repeat. Yame vaisha vrinute tena labhyas. Tasyaisha atma vivrinate tanum swam. Yam eva esha vrinute. He or she whom Bhagavan selects, tena labhyas, only to that person is Bhagavan attained. Tasya esha atma vivrinate tanum swam. Only to that person will Bhagavan reveal his form, and to nobody else. So the Siddhanta is, Bhagavan will reveal himself to whom? To whom he wants. Because many of us have this understanding that if we try harder, we will be able to see Bhagavan with our effort. This understanding is incorrect. That simply by a movement of material senses we will be able to invoke the mercy of Bhagavan. This understanding is incorrect. The understanding is, by a movement of the material senses, Bhagavan cannot be invoked. Bhagavan can be invoked only when Bhagavan himself decides. Then why are we performing all these activities of bhakti? Every morning, devotees come together and sing Mangal Arti. Then they chant japa. Then they sing in kirtan. Why are we performing so many activities of bhakti if Bhagavan is ultimately going to decide by himself? Isn't it? Because there are many individuals who have spent lifetimes performing these activities. You may ask many devotees, how many years? Somebody may say 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Did you see Krishna? Yeah, every day I see the deity. No. Did you see Krishna as Nriga Maharaj saw Krishna? Extending his hand towards you and pulling you out. Did you see Krishna like that? Oh, that way I didn't see Krishna. Then for what did you render devotional service for 50 years? 40 years? 30 years? Dear devotees, the entire process is that Bhagavan's kripa, Bhagavan's mercy will be invoked by any one act of mine. I hope you are able to understand. Bhagavan's mercy will be invoked by any one act of mine. That is the purpose of executing devotional service every day. Because, simply by a movement of the material senses is not a guarantee that Bhagavan will be pleased. Bhagavan will be pleased when he himself thinks that this person genuinely did something which is an act of love or act of prema. Then Bhagavan may be pleased, and then Bhagavan will reveal his particular form. Sri Jiva Goswami continues and says, at one point of time, it is described in the Moksha Dharma section of Mahabharata, Naradam Prati Shri Shvetadvipa Patina. When Narad Muni went to Shvetadvip, and whom did he see in Shvetadvip, dear devotees? Who resides in Shvetadvip? Bhagavan Shri Vishnu resides in Shvetadvip. And when Narad Muni saw him, Narad Muni had in his mind, see, today I am able to see that form which so many others are not able to see. Suddenly Bhagavan spoke to Narad Muni words of warning. What did Bhagavan warn Narad Muni at that point of time? Please repeat after me. Etatvayana vigyeyam रूपवानिति दृश्यते इच्छन् मुहूर्तान् नश्येयम् ईशोऽहं जगतो गुरु माया ह्येषा मया सृष्टा यन्मां पश्यसि नारद सर्वभूतगुणैर्युक्तम् नैवं त्वं ज्ञातुमर्हसि. These verses are there in the Mahabharata. Suddenly Bhagavan said to Narad Muni, Etat tvayana vigyayam. Narad, don't think Rupavan iti drishyate, that just because he has a form like everything else has a form, therefore my eyes are able to capture him. No. There is a difference between all other forms in the world and my form. Icchan muhurtan nashyayam. If I desire, in a split second, I will disappear. Narad Muni, you remember your previous life? You saw me once in your previous life. And after seeing me once, what happened? Was I seen again or did I disappear? What happened? Does anybody remember? Disappeared. Even today, if I want, I will disappear. Ishoham Jagato Guru. I am the Supreme Lord, the Guru of the entire universe. Material objects have a material form, and you think your eyes have superiority over the material form, so your eyes can cover that material form. Don't have that same feeling towards me. Maya hi esha maya srishta yan mam pashyasi narada. Yan mam pashyasi, that you are able to see me, is because Maya hi esha maya srishta. I have covered your eyes with yoga maya. Therefore you are able to see me. All the objects of the world you are able to see because of Mahamaya. Because of the covering of which Maya? Mahamaya. But my form you are able to see because I have covered your eyes right now with which Maya? Yoga Maya. Ask the other Devatas. Ask Sri Brahma. When they come to see me here in Shvetadvip, are they able to see me directly face to face? They are not able to see. Narad Muni, you are able to see. Because when you come here, because you are my devotee, I first cover your eyes with one Maya. Which Maya is that? Yoga Maya. And because I cover your eyes with Yoga Maya, at that point of time you are able to see me. Icchan muhurtan nashyayam. If I desire, in a split second, I will remove that covering. So don't think like this, Narad. Sarva bhuta gunair yuktam naivam tvam gyatum arhasi. Never think that you are able to see me just as you are able to see other material objects in the universe. Dear devotees, Sri Jiva Goswami continues and says, Bhishma Vachanam. In another place in the Mahabharata, Bhishma Dev spoke something. He spoke about a previous king named Uparichar Vasu. He is one of the greatest Vaishnav kings mentioned in the Mahabharata. Please remember this name, Uparichar Vasu. He is a Vaishnav king mentioned in Mahabharata who performed all fire sacrifices without offering any meat. He performed all fire sacrifices simply by offering grains. In Dwapar Yuga, when they used to perform fire sacrifices, yagya, by giving oblations of meat in the fire. But Uparichar Vasu was the only Vaishnav king in the lineage who used to perform fire sacrifices not with offerings of meat, but with offerings of grains. Because of this, Pritas Tatosya Bhagavan Deva Devah Sanatanaha. Because of this, Bhagavan became very pleased with Uparichar Vasu. Sakshatvam darshayamasa drishyo nanyena kenachit. Bhishma said, then Bhagavan showed himself to Uparichar Vasu. Only when Bhagavan was pleased. The conclusion, dear devotees, is na shakyah sa tvaya drashtum asmabhirva brihaspate yasya prasadam kurute savaitam drashtum arhasi. Na shakyah sa tvaya drashtum. Even the gods in the heavens, Svarga says, Bhagavan cannot be seen by us, nor by humans. Yasya prasadam kurute, whom Bhagavan is pleased with, savaitam drashtum arhati. Only that person is able to see Bhagavan. Dear devotees, for this reason, we should understand that Bhagavan is not visible to us in this material world because by default our senses are material in nature or spiritual in nature? Material in nature. Can a material object ever cover a spiritual entity? It is not possible. Therefore, through the material eyes, it is impossible to see Bhagavan. So let's not have the illusion that in this life, through these eyes, I will see Bhagavan. Because the scriptures have says, Jiva Goswami repeats, Na chakshusha pashyati rupamasya. All of you sang this Vedic literature. His eyes will never be seen by, his form will never be seen by the material eyes. So let's not have any illusions about this. But if a particular day arises when Bhagavan decides to cover the material eyes with which Maya, dear devotees? Yoga Maya. At that point of time, we will be able to see Bhagavan. This Siddhanta should be understood because many times devotees are having this in their mind. So many years passed, why did Bhagavan not come in front of me? Why was I now not able to see Bhagavan through my eyes? So there are two reasons. One reason is because our eyes are not covered with Yoga Maya, our eyes are covered with which Maya? Mahamaya. Second reason, because Bhagavan has not yet decided to apply that ointment of Yoga Maya on the eyes of that particular devotee. Only those devotees whom Bhagavan decides are eligible to see him face to face. Now I will give examples of few individuals who saw Bhagavan face to face. Alright? You please answer yes or no. Did Srila Rupa Goswami see Krishna face to face in his life? Yes? Did Sri Madhavendra Puri see Krishna face to face in his life? Yes. Alright. Did the previous acharyas such as Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sri Narottam Das Thakur, they saw Krishna face to face? Yes. Many incidents are there. Did Srila Prabhupada see Krishna face to face on Jaladuta? Yes. 100%. But when Bhagavan decides that it is time, he will be revealed in front of our eyes. So this is the sum and substance of the entire discussion. We'll go back to the verse which we discussed today. The main point is, dear devotees, given in the verse, adabhra chakshusha, through eyes which are adabhra. What is the meaning of adabhra? Adabhra is given as perfect. Srila Sridhar Swami says, adabhra means not lacking in spiritual knowledge. Eyes which are full of spiritual knowledge. Through that eyes, Bhagavan will be seen. And through the material eyes, we will see only the products of the material world. But dear devotees, is the material world a very joyous place to see or a depressing place? Bolo, bolo. Huh? Depressing or joyous? Those who are saying both, so time is a good teacher. There is nothing of much value in the material world. After some time, we have to come to the conclusion, although it appears very beautiful, there is nothing much of value in the world. When that conclusion is firmly established in the heart, only then will we turn away from the world. If we have some hope, there is something of value in the world, then we will continue to seek that value in this world. Dear devotees, there is nothing much of value to be sought in the material world. Nothing much of value. Please tell me, those who answered both, please tell me honestly, what is it of value that is worth seeing in the material world? Arey, nobody? Some people said both. At least they should give some example. Yes.
I saw with my material eyes when I was devotee stages. So that is what I.
Yeah, sure. But my question was purely in relation to the material world, not dham or something. What in Slovenia is worth seeing? Or which will give, joy to the material eyes? Lot of scenery.
If we see it in connection with Krishna, for example, the three Sakis Keron, his body, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. If we see in connection with Krishna, of course it is beautiful. Removing that connection with Krishna, still it appears beautiful. Now I'd like to ask a question. When we see beauty in the world, what do we feel in the heart? Joy. There is a technical term for joy in Sanskrit. Can anybody tell me what is the technical term for joy that we experience in the heart? Yes. The technical term is, please repeat after me, rasa. Finally, after seeing all of the wonderful scenery, what you wanted to experience was not the scenery, but what you wanted to experience was rasa. So once the living entity comes to the conclusion that there is a lot of rasa in connection with Bhagavan, and that the rasa of this world is very insignificant, then you know that your direct what you want to consume ultimately is rasa. What you want to consume is not the scenery. The scenery is not the object of consumption. The object of consumption actually is rasa. Therefore, the Upanishads say, please repeat after me, raso vaisaha rasam hi evayam labdhvanandi bhavati. Raso vaisaha, that Supreme Lord is directly rasa. Rasam hi eva ayam labdhva. And when the living entity attains that rasa, anandi bhavati, he becomes fully joyous. The living entity becomes fully joyous. So ultimately, what were we looking for, even in the material world? Rasa. We were not looking for happiness. The technical term is we were looking for what? Rasa. So that rasa is what we want. And any source of rasa, any source of unlimited rasa is what is going to give us pleasure. What is the meaning of rasa? I will conclude with this point. What is the meaning of rasa? Can anybody tell me? Relationship, okay. Huh? Exchange, okay. Dear devotees, direct meaning of rasa is juice. Direct meaning of rasa is what? Juice. Rasa, yes. I am sure there is nobody in this assembly who hates juice. Everybody must have at least one favorite flavor. Right? Is there anybody who hates all juices? No. We have different personal choices. Which rasa do you like the most, Prabhu? Sundar Gopal Prabhu, which is your favorite one? Juice. Mango. The king of the summer season, dear devotees. All right. Mukunda Prabhu, you are Sahriday with him or you have a different choice? Apricot, okay, wonderful. So Sundar Gopal Prabhu, you like mango? Let's make a deal. I will give you 1 month supply of mango juice, but you have to drink only mango juice. First day he will be very happy. Second day, it's okay. After 1 week of mango juice, dear devotees, what do you think Sundar Gopal Prabhu is going to say? Mango juice again or something else? Something else. So dear devotees, rasa is not simply happiness or juice. Rasa is variegated happiness. Because the jiva doesn't only want happiness, the jiva wants which type of happiness? Variegated happiness. Now that I was in India, I came to Slovenia. This is variegatedness for me. And now that she was in Slovenia, she went to Vrindavan. That was variegated happiness for her. All right. So that is the difference between, the rasas that various living entities want to experience. So ultimately, what we wanted to do was to have an experience of rasa. Even by seeing Bhagwan, what did we want? What is the aim of seeing Bhagwan? What will you do after seeing Bhagwan? Then I will be happy. Oh, acha. So ultimately, the aim was not to see Bhagwan. Ultimately, the aim was to become happy. So ultimately, what you wanted was not simply a vision of the Supreme Lord. Ultimately, you wanted to have an experience of the rasa, which comes after a vision of the Supreme Lord. Let's just be very honest about that. So this is what it is. This rasa can be experienced by the mercy of Bhagavan, and it can also be experienced in the association of devotees. How many of you would like to have some slight experience of Bhakti Ras? Please raise your hands. Oh, nice. So dear devotees, this evening we are having the joyous waves of Srila Rupa Goswami's Padyavali, right? So there will be a talk on Padyavali where we will be discussing verses from Sri Rupa Goswami which are directly rasa. So would you like to relish some of those verses, dear devotees? Experience some Bhakti Ras? Yes? So dear devotees, please come today evening. What time is it, Prabhu? 3:45. German time? Okay. Okay. So 3:45. Please come at that time and we will have the joyous waves of Srila Rupa Goswami's Padyavali. We will discuss some very nice nectarian verses and we will see how relishing some of these verses gives direct joy within the heart. And then I will ask you, were you able to feel happiness in the heart? And then you tell me yes or no. All right? Let's put it to the test. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, Ananta Prabhu, do we have time for Q&A? Yes. All right. So you please tell me, Prabhu, when to stop. We'll begin with Q&A. Yes, yourself first. Yes. Your name, sorry.
Hare Krishna, Siddheshwari Dasi.
Siteshwar.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for your enlivening and inspiring lecture. And please forgive my dullness. I have two questions. I could not understand fully. First of all, so according to the two reasonings that how we can have the Saksha Darshan of the Lord. So what is exactly the relationship with these two reasonings and attaining prema?
Okay. The two reasons for seeing Bhagavan were given as follows. First is his Shakti should allow. Secondly, his mercy should give an indication to his Shakti. These are the two reasons. What is the relationship with prema? Bhagavan wants to see if the devotee has acquired that substance which Bhagavan can consume. In the devotee's life, whatever we offer to Krishna, can you name a few things that you do for Krishna daily?
We call him through our chantings, we worship him, all these devotional services.
Can Bhagavan consume? What is Bhagavan getting from all of this?
This I can't say. Exactly.
No, you see, it's no. It's very important. You have to see from Krishna's point of view.
He wants the love and...
Of course.
Yeah.
And what is the technical term for love?
Bhakti. Prema.
Now you see the connection? Only when Krishna understands that the devotee has genuine prema, then Krishna will indicate to his internal potency that this particular devotee now came to the point where he or she has that particular prema which I was looking for.
So maybe I have to ask better. I couldn't verbalize my question. So where this prema comes from? Because through sadhana...
Now I got your question. How do we produce prema? That is the question, right?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Is prema a product of the material world or the spiritual world?
Spiritual world, for sure.
All right. Our senses are a product of the material world or the spiritual world?
Material world.
So how can a movement of the material senses produce something which is not material? Otherwise, we would have made a big industry where machines would produce prema. Just a minute, Prabhu. Yeah. So, actually speaking, prema cannot be produced by any material effort. Prema can be transferred from the heart of an existing personality who has prema into our heart. I hope you are able to. This is the conclusion. Prema is not produced by material efforts. In the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it is very clearly mentioned. I will pull out the reference from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. This is the definition of sadhan bhakti, and it should be understood very nicely. This is Sri Rupa Goswami defining what is sadhan bhakti. Please sing after me. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava sa sadhana bhidha नित्यसिद्धस्य भावस्य प्राकट्यं हृदि साध्यता. Kriti sadhya. Kriti means senses. Bhakti is executed through the senses. Agreed. But there is one important purpose. Sadhya bhava. Through the movement of the senses, you have to achieve, you have to sadhya, you have to achieve a stage of bhakti. Which stage of bhakti do you have to achieve? Bhava or prema. Then you can call it sadhana bhakti. If prema is not achieved, no matter how much you move your senses, you cannot truly call it sadhana bhakti. But are you trying to say, Rupa Goswami, that prema will be produced by a movement of the senses? No. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya. Bhava is nitya siddha. Prema is nitya siddha, eternally perfected. It cannot be produced by a movement of the material senses. Prakatyam. Oh, of course, it can appear within your heart. Prakatyam hridi. It will appear first on one sense. Hridi. What is the meaning of hridi? Heart. It will appear first on the heart, not on any other sense first. It will first appear within the heart. Prakatya. Prakatya means it will appear. It cannot be produced by a movement of the material senses. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya. When a nitya siddha devotee, whom you are following in their footsteps, when they decide, I will give my bhava, my prema to this particular personality, that day you will find bhava or prema within your heart. It cannot be produced kriti sadhya by movement of the senses. Otherwise, bhakti will become a material activity. That you move your senses for 50 years and you get prema. I hope you are able to understand. So that is not what it is. Now, your question is answered?
Yes, thank you so much. And one more question, can I ask?
Okay, we'll go first to Paurnamasi Mataji, then we'll come back to you. Yeah. Then we'll go to you, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah.
I heard, thank you first for a wonderful lecture. Thank you. I heard recently one of your lectures, and you mentioned that if we are conscious of the Swarupa Shakti of Krishna, then if we try to understand that she is there, then actually she will appear. Can you say more about this?
So, whenever we are performing any activity of bhakti, we have to understand that Swarupa Shakti of Bhagavan, that is the internal potency of Bhagavan, is whom we have to please. With the understanding that we should please the Swarupa Shakti, the internal potency of Bhagavan, if we execute activities of bhakti, then very quickly Bhagavan will be achieved. Because many devotees are thinking, I am performing activities of bhakti to please Bhagavan. Bhagavan is a very difficult person to deal with. You don't want to deal with, let me be honest, you don't want to deal with Krishna directly. It is not a profitable deal. Because if you deal directly with Krishna, there is a statement in the Bhagavatam, Muktim dadati karhichit smana bhakti yogam. 5.6.18 in the Bhagavatam he says, those engaged in getting Lord's favor attain liberation easily, but he does not very easily give bhakti, the opportunity to render direct service unto him. Now, how do we force Bhagavan to give bhakti? Well, ultimately, we have to somehow, somehow convince him to give his direct bhakti. Now, there is that agency which can force him. That agency is his Swarup Shakti. His Swarup Shakti can make him agree. Let's put it that way. She can convince him. So therefore, by pleasing his Swarup Shakti, by pleasing his internal potency, then it will become very easy to perceive Bhagavan. So whenever we are conscious in any act of bhakti, we should be conscious that it is mainly for the pleasure of Bhagavan Shakti, Srimati Radharani. That should be the goal of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas are worshippers of whom? Radharani. So Sri Radha is the Sri Radha is the Shakti who are to be pleased. This is from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Who are the Gaudiya Vaishnavas? And you might have read this, Mataji. Can you kindly read the highlighted section? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. Are you able? Yeah, please read.
Devotees of Vishnu are called Vaishnavas. Devotees of Krishna are called Karshnas. And the devotees of Shri Radha are called Gaudiyas.
So this is very clear. So don't deal directly with Krishna. It will be difficult because he is not easily convinced and he doesn't easily want to enter into a new relationship. Deal with his Shakti. That is much easier because that is the surest way of attaining his Kripa. He is seen by his Shakti and he gives himself because of his Shakti. So always remain aware of this fact in any act of bhakti. I don't know which talk you heard that, but maybe this is what was spoken. Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for such an inspiring and instructive class. So many things, wonderful things you said and shared with us. Just have some my understanding, and I want to ask your clarification and also question. So I see that you described also process, because it's a process how we can attain our final goal. And in that process, you also mentioned accepting like suffering or calamities are like in a package. And then you also you supported with this example of how we want to enjoy, but if we know that we need to suffer, we will accept suffering first. I just see that as a qualification of sattva guna, because if we are in material world and if we are like covered with different gunas, then raja guna don't allow that. It just wants to enjoy. So you also make the vision of material happiness and spiritual happiness. So I just want to ask you in regard of suffering, so if someone is to that level like of sattva guna and accepting that kind of suffering in order to reach final goal, what kind of suffering should be accepted? What is that? Can you elaborate more on that kind of accepting suffering in order to reach our final goal? And if you can make the division or distinction between spiritual and material suffering and eagerness to accept it in order to reach the final goal. Thank you.
So, what kind of suffering do we have to accept in order to reach the goal? Different individuals will be given different types of suffering according to what they have done in the past. For somebody, suffering may come as loss of a family member. For somebody, suffering may come as separation from a family member. For somebody, suffering may come as a child who doesn't listen to us. For somebody, suffering may come as devotees who have excommunicated us. Suffering comes from different avenues for different people. But there is a mood in which suffering has to be accepted. The common thread is the mood in which the devotee accepts suffering. And that mood is given in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 14th chapter, 8th verse. Tattenukampam susamikshamaano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvagvapurbir vidadhan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhag. Susamikshamaano. It's a very important term here. When suffering comes, we start doing samiksha. Samiksha means analysis. Why did the suffering come unto me? When we do samiksha, analysis, we find out that this person is responsible for my suffering. I am suffering because my family member did not behave with me properly. This is why I am suffering. I am suffering because this particular devotee does not like me. That is why I am suffering. This is samiksha, immediate analysis. Su-samiksha mano. After detailed analysis and maturity, one comes to know Bhunjana eva atma kritam. I am consuming what I have done in the past. I hope you are able to understand. Today I am consuming what I have made somebody else consume in the past. Therefore, unless I would go through the same experience, I will not mature. Bhagavan gave me that experience. Now I will not do the same thing again to somebody else. For example, I will give one small example of this. For example, somebody is a devotee and they find out, they are married, they find out that their spouse does not like them. And after a few years, they find out that actually their spouse likes somebody else. It is a very devastating feeling for somebody who is married. And then they may start asking, why me? Because I made the wrong choice of getting married to this person. This is samiksha. Su-samiksha. After deep analysis, in some past life I must have tremendously wronged somebody in a similar way. Okay, now I got first-hand experience of how it feels. Now I will not do the same thing to anybody else. Never. So this actually was Bhagavan's mercy. Otherwise I would never have understood what I made somebody else go through. Then Hridvag Vapurbhir Vidadhan Namaste. With my heart, my body and my words, Bhagavan, I accept what you have given to me. I bravely take upon myself that reaction. And I continue ahead in my bhakti without being unfavorable towards you. Jivet, if you live like this, Mukti Pade Sadaya Bhak, you are immediately eligible for liberation. Immediately eligible for liberation. If somebody has that level of maturity, they are immediately eligible for liberation. But if we are saying, no, this person was the cause of my suffering, that person was the cause of my suffering, don't put it upon myself. Somebody else is the cause of that suffering. First, they should suffer. Of course, if they have done something, karma is a very strong network. They may also suffer. But that is not our lookout. Our lookout is what we did in the past. Let's sort that out. Once that is sorted out, we are eligible. So I hope that answers the query.
Thank you. So you just I want to check out. So you said this conscious suffering is related to spiritual, and unconscious suffering is there on this material.
Suffering in which we point towards other entities as the cause is unconscious. Actual conscious suffering is where we know that ultimately it is because of myself. I have done something in the past. And otherwise, there is no point of some child being born poor, some child being born rich. There is no point of somebody being perfectly happy in a relationship and somebody else suffering in a relationship. Why do these things